Hello, Speed Gaming and Links to Past Randomizer fans. And today for you, we have the 2 p.m. daily race. It's Fast Friday, so we have a casual seed, early boots, 7-7 Frost Ganon. I am Evolving Ocelot, and I'm joined on commentary by Koi. How are you doing tonight, Koi?
I'm doing fantastic. Hope you're doing well as well. And wow, what a lineup for this daily race.
Oh yeah, this is definitely looking like early practice for the qualifiers later. Although the qualifiers won't be casual or fast boots, but you never know. Might end up with the boots in Link's house later.
Yeah, I think it deserves to be said. These are not just good players. These are players that each have the skill level and the experience necessary to not only have a deep run through the fall tournament, but to win the whole thing. Like, if any of these guys won that tournament, I would not be surprised at all. These are fantastic runners, and I'm expecting a fantastic race today.
Oh yeah, an absolute max criticism if they miss anything, right?
I don't even know. I like to pick a favorite, because usually it's a little clearer, but I have no idea. I think Goomba will take it, and on the back of like some weird play that didn't make any sense to anybody but him.
I don't know. Last time I did commentary for Gem, he set a world record in standard, so that's not to be sniffed at. So yeah, this being casual, it's going to play out quite similarly to standard, except we are starting with boots, because we've got early boots, and we're also going to be getting a sword from the uncle, as well as something else from the uncle. But we're starting off with some Maya in Link's house. And that was a really quick map check on Goomba's side, but that looks like 3 ordinary crystals in the light worlds to me.
That is what I saw as well. So you might have seen them dashing through bushes at the start. No, you can't swing the sword in the rain state. So like even if you have the sword like we do now, they can't swing it. But for some reason, you can still dash through bushes as if you could swing the sword.
Link's just imagining he has a sword. He knows he's going to get it. In this case, also $20 from the uncle. So there's going to be a little bit of RNG here with where the guards are walking and if they get in the way or not. If one happens to walk into the side of Link, it will cause some damage and interrupt your run. But otherwise, escape is mostly really down to personal execution. With early boots, you're definitely looking at some sub-6-minute escapes here. Oh, Fuemi does an accidental map check, so that will put them back a little bit of time.
He got lost. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see like a 5:30 escape or something, even with checking the 3 chests with having boots this whole time. And if we find like a mirror, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, mirror and escape is something that a lot of people actually tend to completely forget they have, and especially if they have boots already, because then they're just like, okay, I've got the mirror, I've got the boots, I'm just going to run out of here. But no, we can just move to the start instead.
Everyone doing the same Tink double spin strat on the blue guard there. I think they've done the escape with a sword before, you guys. Now, I wasn't actually watching the prize pack drops. Do you know what's dropped from the guard so far?
I haven't been observing that, no. In the regular standard seed, you can sometimes get the sword from the uncle, you can sometimes get another weapon from the uncle. So, sword escapes are something you should learn. Ooh, bombs in Zelda's chest. That is pretty useful. Means we're not going to have to farm any rats or ropes in the sewers to try and get their bombs.
Cool, so the prize pack doesn't matter. So Goomba actually ran into a little trouble on the ball and chain guard, though. 8 slashes is very, very difficult. And on so few hearts, making like one mistake, suddenly you're a hit from death. So he played it a little safe and grabbed the pot. But like the caliber of all these runners is so high that even small little time losses like that will add up to immense amounts of time later.
Yeah, you can see that we've got the stream synced up already, and currently Gerdo and Gem are just about tied, with Goomba bringing up the rear and Fuemi in between. A little bit of difference in running there just lets go to get slightly ahead. And speaking of the bombs, we actually didn't need to worry about getting any bombs anyway for the back of escape because, you know, he can just dash into the wall.
Oh yeah, forgot
But it's
about
gonna
that.
help. It's gonna help in Kakariko though, for sure. Because yeah, you do actually need bombs for stuff in Kakariko.
I haven't played very many of these boot starts.
In the Dark Horse, we have more bombs.
For him getting the key dash on a door you almost never have boots for. Talk about game knowledge. Gem doing it too.
Oh, early Moonpole and a Master Sword and blue and 5 rupees. That is a stacked back of escape.
That astounds me though, the familiarity with the game, because like they probably haven't done that many boot starts or easy either, but to the wherewithal to understand how key dashes work and to set up key dashes in a place where you almost never can do a key dash, it's just like it doesn't save like a ton of time or anything, but it's really cool. And Gem making it out of the sanctuary at 520. Absolutely incredible.
Now, I am curious why 3 runners, not Goomba, all opened that chest to get the map. Surely you're able to know this is the map, right?
Well, it takes a lot of brain power to set up key dashes, so they just didn't have enough to spare to count the items. Clearly.
Oh boy, and that's a cape in the Bonkrocks.
Can we call it French vanilla?
Kind of, yeah. It's just like one screen over.
Yeah.
And with this, like with everything for Aga 1 except a lamp, around us all checking Lumjack. It's really easy to check it anyway with the boots, so if you don't have the boots, you often put this off for later because it takes a bit of time to walk up there.
Yeah, typically you either check Lumberjack leaving the escape no matter what, or you put it off until you have boots. So since we're leaving the escape and we have boots, everyone's going to check this. Oh, hi, Lamp. How you doing, Lamp? Is this an Aga seed?
That's terrible. That's Aga access in less than 7 minutes.
Yeah, I think we might see some early Aga plays here. Like, it's far from guaranteed to be an Aga seed. We have a lot of the game we haven't seen yet, but to have Aga access this quickly, it does feel like it will probably be Aga required.
If we don't see any gloves pop up in anywhere, like, easily accessible, it's probably going to be straight to Aga 1. Like, even if I think the only case there where people could skip Aga 1 is if gloves on Agino or something, because Agino is the most, like, out of the way check. But even then, with the boots, it's pretty quick to get over there.
They'll definitely want to, before gambling on Aga, definitely want to find at least one thing that gets them to more places in the Goomba's doing a water walk in the Dark World. Where are we going, Goomba?
He's betting on Ice Road Cave.
The fastest Ice Road Cave I have ever seen. I like this a lot. This is really cool.
Maybe he's worried that he won't have enough money for Kakariko, but there were 300 rupees in the basement and a whole bunch of other rupees alongside that powder. So bottle check is taken care of, and we most of the way towards Zora too, if we happen to find some flippers. Flippers won't get you into the Dark World, but it will get you to Zora. If we find gloves, that will get you into the Dark World. As well as to Zora.
Water walk. Looks like he's going to go to Hobo, at least. Maybe Waterfall Ferry.
If he set up a double water walk, he's probably going to go. Yeah, he's just going straight to the Zora area, so he'll be able to check out both King Zora and grab the item on the ledge.
No, he only has the one water walk.
Only one? Okay. How do you set up the second one again? Because I totally forgot.
Yeah, he's one water walk outside Blossowitz to get to Ice Star Cave, and then use another one that he set up at Ice Star Cave to get to Waterfall Ferry, and now he's going to go over to Hobo.
Hey, that's a fire road on the Lake Hylia Island.
So specifically, we're either looking for things that let us not do Aga, like mitts or hammer gloves, or we are looking for things that get us to more places in the Dark World after killing Aga, like the bow to get deeper into Pod, or the hammer to get down to Height Cave, or hookshot plus another item to get across the river. They could all go do Aga right now, but without an extra item, it's not that many checks.
Kakariko not really turning up much aside from that powder. There was also the red boomerang, but nobody really cares about that.
I mean, we have the new splash deletion tech, and Red Boom is very useful for that.
Yeah, I guess more pixels on screen. All those sparkly effects that cause you lag, and I guess it enables splash deletion too. Well, there's a mirror. Right there, mini model. And nothing else.
Guma's gonna get to use them.
Anybody will really be checking out much of Eastern before they would go Aga 1, but you never know. Like, even doing a double dip of Eastern would be faster than doing the whole Aga climb.
Alright, I had some technical difficulties, so I might have missed something important. If you guys saw something we didn't call out, let us know.
I missed what was in the dam myself, but it looks like there was a heart container inside, and there was definitely a bottle of a bee in the water.
He just gave just 20 rupees, so we're gonna have to look somewhere else for these items. It is very tempting at this point to just go do Aga, because it looks like it looks more like an Aga seed than any seed I've ever seen before, and it could be that the thing we're looking for is just on the pyramid or in the front of Pod.
Yeah, but random is random. We could have both gloves and EP. We don't know that yet. If Yomi was dashing by the ledge there with the portal and throwing the boomerang upwards, what would they be doing that for? Aside from memes.
Accidentally hitting Y.
Okay, memes.
I can't think of any other reason.
So we're looking at Shahaswala and Eastern Palace now, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be straight to Agawan after Shahaswala. I really wouldn't be dipping Eastern Palace myself. I'd just be going for the bet. Gem has Zora money, and so does Gerda, so maybe they will be going up to pay off the King Zora. But it won't be in logic.
There's a flute on Sick Kid.
Very nice. So that will get you up to Death Mountain, but it doesn't really enable that many checks. It gets you the old man, which is in logic because of that lamp.
Well, we have the mirror from Mini Motorcade, so we
oh yeah, Turf Hair too. Yeah.
And okay, we even have a fire source to make sure we can full clear it. So, I think that's probably going to be where Goomba heads next. But everybody else didn't get their bottle until after Kakariko. How long is it going to take them to go back there for that one single check? It does. It's very unappealing to go all the way back to Kakariko just to check Sick Kid. especially when it's so obviously an Aga seed, right? Like Gem's already going to Aga. He's ready. Goomba's route just lined up so well for this seed.
You gotta take sometimes these like alternate routes just to hope that you get a good gamble like this that will get you items in a different order that will really pay off for you. And in Goomba's case, it is really paying off because we see Gem headed up the tower, but Goomba's going to be headed into a completely different tower that will get him a crystal and maybe get him into the Dark World in another way.
So I think Farame is setting up the double water walk here. He set up a water walk at Ice Rock Cave and then did a fake flipper to get over to Hobo. And from here, he'll be able to set up a new water walk from the Moon Pearl in Waterfall Ferry and save that one that he saved, that he made at Ice Rock Cave. That was a lot of words, but just trust me, it makes sense.
It's a technique I've only seen like once or twice before, and the time I last saw it was because it was looking very much like an Aga seed straight from the outset, and people were like, okay, I really want to scour the world before I commit to Aga. In this case, it's just 10 hours and a red rupee from the Zor area, so it's completely useless in this case.
He ended up using his Ice Rock Cave water walk at Hobo, so he's not doing the double water walk here. He does have the items necessary to do the splash station, though, if he needed to check the ledge. Gonna throw in the bottle, see what he gets. I totally missed it. It was a B, okay. So Goomba's not taking his flute up the mountain, instead going over to the eastern area.
He's still got stars for others to check out. There's no absolute way anybody's doing Eastern Pass before Aga at this point. But, you know, maybe could still happen, I guess, but it's, yeah.
I guess he was just hoping for a hammer or something, so he could like do east of the mountain. All right, so Gerdo did go back to Kakariko and got his flute, so he's not going to get baited away from grabbing that very nice progression item, like happened to Gem, and is now happening to Farame, who is going to Aga 1.
Gerdo heading into the Old Man Cave, just a little bit behind Goomba.
So keep in mind, guys, it's not crazy to do Aga 1 here. Like, we have no gloves, no hammer, and we have everything we need for Aga, and then some. This is so an Aga seed. I would be very surprised if it's not, and doesn't end up being required. And going all the way back to Kakariko just to check Sick Kid, which is probably 20 rupees, like, Aga just looks so much better.
So let's see if we get ridiculously lucky on this mountain first before we count our Agas. Gem's all nearly done with him. That's a Bomber's Medallion Special Rock, and Goomba's going for the hover to get it. And falls. And that wastes him much more time than...
Yeah, it's not like the worst thing that ever happened, but it's a pretty significant time loss, especially when you're up against players like Gem and Gerdo and Frame.
Gerdo is just going to take this safer. Or no, he's not going for it at all. He's just going straight into the tower.
And it's a glove on the pyramid!
Oh boy. Okay, 5 and 6 crystals at Pass of Darkness and Ice Palace, and I believe there was pendants at Mizumaya and Thieves Town. Pendant Thieves Town, what a cliche. I believe it was a green in Thieves Town. I didn't catch what the third pendant was for. Chat saying Turtle Rock. Also another disgusting cliche.
So the gloves by themselves do one thing. Like, the only thing that we gain from this is being able to go to Catfish now. But in combined with, like, 5 different other items, it unlocks a lot of the game.
Goomba got his Bomber's Medallion and then fell down again.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for Goomba having to take this long path up the staircase twice or 3 times like this.
Gem actually going over to Catfish immediately took the time to buy a green potion from the potion shop, so he's going to be heading into pod pretty early and using the potion glitch to get through.
Yeah,
This is all he can
there's
do.
no other reason to buy that. I imagine he probably would have bought the red from the Dark World shop instead, but the rupees didn't line up properly for that. He wouldn't have had enough to open pot. So nice job knowing how much potions cost and how much it costs to get in the pot there.
Yeah, like red potions, I think 160 rupees from general shops. From the magic shop, it's 120, and the green potion is like 60 rupees.
Oh, and there was a glove in Hera.
Oh, Gerda takes a mold on for.
Oh, we missed that.
Happens to the best of us. Also the worst of us, like myself. So if one glove on the pyramid and another glove in here, this is basically an Agaseed. Well, yeah, confirmed Agaseed.
Unless the hammer is also in there, I guess.
And let's see what Moldom drops. Just a key.
Okay, and it was 10 arrows in the big chest, so that's both items out of Tower of Hera. Oh yeah, we also haven't been into Eastern Palace, so yeah, hammer, or at least something leading to hammer, could mean it wasn't an Agaseed after all.
Yeah, true.
Eastern Palace. But, you know, like, Eastern looks so terrible. Like, you just go to Aga, and then you get mids, and you feel really good about it. Even if it ends up not being an Agaseed, like, you can feel pretty safe that most people did Aga.
Gerda goes to get that crystal and then saves some crits. I mean, that Bomber's medallion then saves some crits. So that's crystals for Goomba and Gerda.
So Farame's buying the red potion here, but that's going to put him on so few rupees, he's not going to be able to enter pod. I assume he does have the mirror, though, right? That was just in Mini Moldor.
Yeah, he definitely went into Mini Moldor.
Did I mean pod? I probably meant pod. I just say things, alright?
I mean, it's what we do as commentators, right? Say things. I mean, you do race too. I don't, because I'm a scrub, but hey.
Well, we got a mushroom in pod. Interesting.
So that would have actually been more beneficial to get that mushroom and well, going to pod first before going up to Catfish and the magic shop. Huh. Well, that didn't matter as much because we've got well, Gem doesn't have the flute, but we know where it is.
Right. So the glove on Pyramid actually gives Farame a different way to access the mountain, so he's going to follow that up to Tower of Hera instead of following the flute. And the Bowlock set of pod has one small key and one small key.
That gets Gem to the back of pod, where all the juicy stuff tends to lie. Out of logic, though. Could access the fun portions here because of that first small key, but this back stuff, it's going to be pretty much out of logic. Logic assumes you're going to be using your keys in the most inefficient way possible, so it thinks you're going to use the key to open this up and then not check it out at all, and also a key to open up the backup pod and not check it at all.
Yeah, so the two small keys on the Bowlock set of pod does mean that both Harmless Hellway and Dark Maze are considered Bowlock. But these two chests in the rupee basement and the one in the turtle room are completely accessible.
Harmless Homeways over in Thievestown.
What?
You said Harmless Homeway.
This is Harmless Hellway. Because it's a Hellway with the spikes, but it's harmless.
Oh yeah, never mind. We're both derping.
There's like 5 different Hellways in this game. Alright, so that shield is out of logic. The shield will not lead to the first accessible bow. Or anything, because it doesn't unlock anything. But whatever.
Okay, just a second bottle and that shield. Really not much in pod.
Yeah, no progression to be had from the sequence break, so we don't have to remember any logic for this.
And Gem's going for the Eastern Palace dive. I mean, it is a bit absolute best time to go for Eastern Palace dive, considering you're literally right outside the entrance, but still kind of surprising.
Going to pod instead of up to Hera, you feel pretty forced to do this, and then pod having nothing, like you have to do Eastern here. Every other play is just accepting that you're really, really far behind.
So he's only got a blue mail from that first chest, so that's first item done already.
So Goomba, the first one, can pick up his Titan's mitts. Well, I guess Frame was the first one. Darn it.
Ooh, 20 rupees. This Eastern Palace is not looking good so far. Well, I guess blue mail is a nice find if you find it early, but look at these full runners. Do you think any of them need blue mail?
Oh, absolutely not. It's still like nice to find though. Like you pick it up even if it's just a little bit out of your way, just because it does enable you to play a lot more aggressively than maybe you would normally.
And play aggressively with your face.
Yeah, it's no joke, especially on like some of the more dangerous fights, like Master Sword Ganon or something. Being able to use your health as a resource because you have a mail upgrade is very, very nice. Right, so Frame with his mitts will now be headed over to enter the Dark World on the west side of the world. Probably Kingston first? Yeah, Kingston first, and then go on to the Dark World. Goomba also has his mitts, but is taking care of some flipper checks that he hadn't done yet.
Oh, and that's the map in the big chest of Eastern, so Eastern was dead. There could be an item on Armos, but Armos is out of access, so no hammer. This was a Naga seed.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Gem that he did the bow dungeons without a bow. Everybody else has managed to avoid that.
So Fiame and Goomba both going into King's Tomb for the Dark World. Kind of surprising, because it means they're orphaning Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, I think they're in a situation though where they can just go do it real quick. If they choose not to, though, then I have no idea when they're ever going to go do Graveyard Ledge. Graveyard Ledge is, in general, a very slow check that you'd like to avoid if possible.
Mushroom was 20 rupees. That's one item in Skullwoods, being another bee in a bottle. Skullwoods is a dungeon that anecdotally I've seen a lot of people skip, and it's really bitten them lately. And I know that Skullwoods in like older versions of Rando was always known as Value Woods. You always guaranteed to find an item of value here. But that hasn't been the case lately, but I've still seen skipping it really bright runners.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to put off Skullwoods until you have the Fire Rod, so that you can go to the back first. But it's accessible so early, and the front of it is right there. It's definitely something that a lot of players treat as if it was just regular overworld checks rather than dungeon dive.
Piece of Hearts on the bumper ledge, and Goomba's going back to that graveyard ledge.
Yeah, it's a very safe play to make sure you get this, because it is very orphaned right now. If he doesn't do it right... Okay, he's not doing it. Oh my gosh! If he doesn't do it right now, he will pretty much never do it. I can't imagine any time he'd ever be able to work it back in. He's actually going
He
for
wants
the...
a Fire Rod, yeah. Alright, Fiona, you're also heading up to bumper ledge. Probably not going to orphan graveyard ledge like Goomba. Unless heading to the Fist Firecast, but no, they're heading right.
Goomba will have one more opportunity to do Graveyard Ledge when he's in Skullwoods again, killing Mocula. But that's it, and it's not even that convenient to do it right there.
I didn't catch what that Mizumara was, but catching what Mizumara is like my worst thing. Oh, there's another male in the Maya shed.
Yeah, the medallion icons are so distinct that for the runners, they only have to see the first 2 or 3 pixels of it to know which one it is. But because we're watching at a much lower resolution than they are, they don't look that much different to us.
Hey,
And
flippers. So suddenly all that... Well, hang on. So he got the flute, that's in logic. And he's got both clubs, also in logic. So he could get that those flippers and then do all his weird fake flipping to get Fire Rod and stuff totally in logic. Okay.
Yeah, and with the lamp in hand, it means that everybody else can come to desert with no worries. They won't have to go get the Fire Rod first or anything. And then once they find the flippers here, they'll just go get the Fire Rod.
Goomba grabs that big key and heading straight to Landmurder. So I didn't see if he got the map or compass, but if his last item is here, then he knows it's not going to be in a big chest. And if he's got all the items, then he's done anyway.
Yeah, pretty normal gamble to assume that the last item will just be on the boss, because you have to kill the boss anyway. And skipping even a couple screens definitely makes a difference.
Big 300 in the front of Feedstown, and Fiame is coming out, and there was just 20 rupees in the digging game for Gerdo. Gerdo's starting the blacksmith chain. Again, he's missing the hammer for this, so this is going to be another Orphans check. Namely the hammer pegs. And the smiths are just forging money.
Now, he does have the opportunity here to do Magic Bat, but it's really, really... you don't want to do it. Because you mirror on the other side of the hammer peg, so you won't be able to get back to your portal, and we'll have to walk all the way back through Kakariko to re-enter it. So Gerdo opting not to do Magic Bat here, even though it is accessible and in logic.
Yeah, if you're starting as a Smith Jane, you kind of want to grab that purple chest faster there, and getting the purple chest and doing magic bat at the same time without hammer is just no.
Jem does make his way to Sick Kid and gets his flute. Varane didn't though, did he?
I'm not seeing any on this tracker. I don't think he has.
He had the opportunity to mirror when he was coming through Village of Outcasts, but maybe he'll do it on the way back.
Nice tempered sword in the big chest in desert.
Yeah, definitely a nice pickup.
Alfieri is going for that magic bat. Taking the Smith for a dive too.
Well, this one would give him a great opportunity to turn in Sick Kid and get that flute, because he'll have to go back up through the village to get to the Darkfall portal.
Yeah, this actually could be quite beneficial for him doing it in this order.
Unless this is the hammer. It wasn't, no. Rip. We'll be taking that fire out advantage to Skullwood, so we get to see some new checks here. I think we only found one item before.
Gotta giving us a quick look at the bomber's tablet of that book from Village, but it's just a hard container, as Jem grabs it himself. Still leaves the ether tablet for which is like super out of array at this point, but it's there.
Yeah, Ether Tablet's all by itself. You don't even have the hammer to like do Spike Cave or something. Alright, Varane does get the flute. Everybody has it now. Thank God.
One hype cave coming up, starting off with a piece of heart, 10 arrows, heart container, Quake medallion, and a piece of heart.
Sick Kid in general is a very like dangerous location. Because it's so accessible, right? It's so easy to get to that you don't think that hard about routing it in. You just figure, well, I'll get a Kakariko eventually and turn it in, which leads to you forgetting to do so. Probably one of the most skipped locations, even by experienced runners.
Hey, Godo's trying to do some splash deletion here with bombs and Cane of Samaya. Is this enough sprites to get him? Ah, yeah, he's throwing the boomerang too. Oh,
it is, but he has to throw the boomerang.
There we go.
There he goes. I don't think he thought it.
Oh, and he takes a hit. He takes a hit from the like flying thing and gets him back.
He wouldn't be able to get the fire rod anyway because the splash deletion puts him in a like flipper state, and he needs a water walk state to use the mirror.
Ah, right, yeah. I think he's just realized that too. He's now getting bullied by the red guard, probably in like extreme frustration.
Yeah, what the heck, red guard?
And then he goes into the next screen, and then another red guard starts chasing him.
All right, well, he's headed to the Mire area now, which will get him through desert and finding his flippers, so easier access to that fire rod.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in this race anymore. Everybody's in different places. It's hard.
That's kind of like the theme of daily races. Everybody goes in different directions, even like for Uber runners like this. Yep, they're going in different directions.
Now, I know no one's done the back of Thieves Town yet, so there are still mystery items there.
Oh, there's so many things that could be burning our runners right now. Like these orphan checks. There's so many of them already. And I've got to say, all of these orphan checks I've seen so far, like, say, Sick Kid, well, not Sick Kid, but Well, I have seen Sick Kid screw some runners, but like other orphan checks like Back Up Beef's Town when it's a pendant or Ether Tablet or things like that, I've seen all of those screw over runners in races lately. So there's a lot of potential for screwery here, especially since it was an Agaseed.
So if Backup Thief Sound is the answer, Goomba is definitely in the best position for getting that progression because everybody else did Thief Sound like super early, and when you have like the whole world to go do, why would you go to the Backup Thief Sound, the Backup Pendant Thief Sound without the hammer?
Yeah.
But Goomba has done like everything, so Thief Sound's looking pretty good from his point of view. Still
yeah, but he had that mirror out and he's noping out.
He's not interested. Another location that's looking pretty good to most of our runners is those pot and Eastern dips. Only Gemhead did those, and they did not reward him. But if everybody else goes and does those looking for the hammer, he'll save that time back because everybody else will have wasted the same amount of time.
So, like, if you had all of Pod and Eastern available to you versus Backup Beef's Town, but you were in the Beef Town area, which really would you do first?
I would have done Thieves Town where Goomba was.
I would have thought the same thing, but it's not a choice that's been taken so far.
Well, how many items were in the front? If it's like three items in the front, maybe I wouldn't do it.
I saw like 300 rupees in front. I didn't see anything else.
Chat brings up a good point. Swamp Palace is an option. It's only one check. It's a single check, and it's really, 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 really out of the way and very slow to get to. But it's possible.
And I've seen Hammer there more than once, to my eternal shame. God, I've even seen Hammer there in Zedem Z3, and that is like, there's so many places, other places Hammer could be, and it's there of all places. Why?
Ice Palace is another option with our flippers in hand, and then the Bombos Medallion from Spectacle Rock Cave. Given our information, seeing all the checks instead of just one runner's point of view, I do think Ice Palace is looking the most likely to have our progression, and it's probably the hammer.
You love Ice Palace.
Well, I don't love it without the hammer. But that again, it's a very unfortunate place to have to go without the hammer. Our runners will be trying to avoid that and doing everything that's slightly better before they make that play.
You know, I think it's kind of depend on when. Well, Gem hasn't gone into desert yet to get their flippers. Fuami has them, and they're going to be using that for those flippers to get the fur rod, heading back to Skull Woods with a fur rod, and then it'll be in perfect place to check Pedestal. If Pedestal possibly has something, that makes a pendant even better to go for.
Yeah, if we find out that Ped is required, then yeah, they'll just all beeline for Thief Sound even without the hammer. Yeah,
and that will really put Fuami in the best place because they will have that Pedestal information, and they haven't touched. Well, they've gone in the first 4 of Thieves Town, but they haven't. He hasn't gone to anything else yet, but it'll still be really promising for him.
Looks like Gerdo's going to pod. Yes. Okay, so that's good news for Gem, not for Gerdo. Oh, no, he's going to do... Oh, he's getting the Fire Rod.
Yeah, he was trying earlier. You can certainly get into Ice Palace from here, actually.
He won't, though. I mean, he might, but that'd be crazy. Like, you can get to Ice Palace, like, anytime, so, like, you go do the one item in Skullwoods first.
He's not getting Pod or Ice Palace. It's Skullwoods. So he's also going to be in a good spot to check the pedestal. Actually, a bit ahead for Fuami.
So we're curious what's going to happen with Goomba here, because he has done a lot of the game. He's done it really, really efficiently, and still he's in this really awkward, well, I've run out of good things to do, let's do something terrible position.
He's going to head over to Hypergate first, which we know is very, very terrible. And then probably from here into Pod Eastern, which is going to be a huge time sink. Which
Yeah,
Ganon
Pod
has barely
Eastern-
managed to avoid.
Yeah, Pod Eastern looks the best, definitely, from his point of view. Looks like Frame's heading that way, but he may just be going for the Fire Rod as well. Yeah, it's a Fire Rod play.
And Goomba's not committing to the dungeon just yet. He wants to get a few of his isolated checks done, like the Bomber's Tablet.
So just like before with Thieves Town, where Goomba had the best position for making the call to go to the back of Thieves Town, he also has the best position for making the call to go into Swamp. Because when everybody else was over here, they still had like desert to do. They still had like to go get the Fire Rod. But Goomba has put this off for as long as possible. So his options are a lot thinner, which makes this terrible check into Swamp look way better.
And he's going for it.
You absolute madman.
God, if I hadn't seen evidence of it having hammer or other progression stuff already, I'd always count this out. Getting into Swamp takes quite a lot of time. Re-getting into Swamp after you've dived it once and not found anything takes even more time. Alright, Gerda's done with Morphula. He's mirroring. He's going to be checking that pedestal. But he's got the Fluid equipped, so he's just going to get a bunch of gibberish. Oh, there we go. Couch cash. Okay.
Alright, Goomba check-in first chest Swamp. It is a unique item. Just
It's
not
a stick.
good one.
It's a stick, but it doesn't have a mallet on the end. It just has a pointy bit instead.
Whatever, Ward. That's basically go mode, right? Oh, poor Goomba. Alright, so Goomba's down to like Ice Palace without the hammer, and then Eastern Pod without the bow. He's going ice.
Gerda's heading to Magic Bat now. And probably from here, maybe into Thieves Town. Until you see all these like dungeon tips that don't get you progression until you actually find something in there. Because you either can't clear them or the pendants. You can't really say who has an advantage here right now. I guess Goomba has a bit of an advantage in just how much he's done, but now he's committing to the bad stuff. And Gem's probably in the worst spot because he's done the worst stuff, Pod and Eastern, when finding nothing. But where the hell is that progression? We do not know.
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable saying that Gem's behind just because of the time he spent in the bow dungeons and where he got nothing. But, you know, everybody else might eventually just go do those, and Gem will get that time back.
Okay, everybody's betting on Ice Palace. Maybe they didn't know you're coming and you want to see it.
Yeah, I think for these three runners in Ice Palace looks better than Pod Eastern because Pod Eastern has been accessible longer. So the idea here is, well, somebody else did Pod Eastern, and if the answer's there, I've already lost. It's already over. So let's continue betting that there's nothing there.
Okay, I'm definitely betting on back of Thieves Town at this point.
That would be the grossest because I think everybody will do Pod Eastern before that.
mean, I said it before. Thieves Town is kind of a cliche. It tends to pop up as a pendant a lot, and it tends to always often have progression a lot. Like, it's unfortunate that it's the case, and it's not really like actual randomizer logic or anything. It's not weighted towards it. It's just sheer coincidence. Gem also going to get that fire rod. Probably also going to go into Ice Palace from here, or just finish off Skullwoods first, like everyone else.
Don't do it, Goomba. Don't do it, Goomba. Yeah, go back. There you go. He was making his way as if he was going to drop down to, like, get to the right side. But if that's not a small key in that chest, he locks himself and he has to mirror out of the dungeon. So the safer play here is to go the long way to Iced Tea.
Small keys on Coaster can really mess you up. Alright, Ice-T, what do you got? Big key. So that's now backtracking to the big chest again.
So Gerdo's doing a bomb jump here to get over to that big long hallway where you'd normally go to Iced Tea. He doesn't have a small key though, which I think he just realized, so he's gonna just go right side. But like we were saying before, if this chest he's headed towards does not have a small key, he has to mirror out. There is no way to get backwards.
Yeah, and this bomb jump is quite a bit trickier than the other one.
Small key or the hammer, I should say. Just a map. Ice Palace wasn't the answer.
Oh boy. I mean, I don't think the hammer could even be here because, like, if you've got a key on Cold Stare, logic assumes, like I said before, that you see using your keys in the worst ways possible. So you spend it in the wrong place and then you can't get over here and you have to go elsewhere for your hammer, right?
Right.
Or do I have that completely wrong?
Wait, did they get the big key?
They did.
Was it an Iced Tea?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense then. So Gerdo's going back in because he orphaned Iced Tea. He didn't mean to, he just miscounted keys and then got ruined by the key RNG. So he has to go all the way back in just to get to Iced Tea. Where Goomba's going back in because he went to Iced Tea and now has the big key and was forced to mirror out to go to that big chest.
Yep.
This is super gross.
Oh, there it is. There's a hammer.
It was in the big chest all along.
And now Fiorami is in by far the best place, because now he can just go straight to Gold Stare.
We didn't find any items though, right? It was just the hammer.
I didn't see, well, I think it's all one item, but it wasn't anything noteworthy. Like, I just didn't commit it to memory. Bombs here.
Okay, so that means that if Cold Stare doesn't drop our third item, that the last item is going to be on the hammerlock side, on the right side. So it's real curious if Fareem would go back in for that. I think Goomba and Gerdo definitely won't, having already been in. Now we'll get the third item anyway.
Cold Stare, actually. Ether.
And it's progression. Nice.
Gets in Maya.
Yay!
Maya is 2+1 items.
I mean, given how much of the game they have open to them right now, Maya's looking pretty darn good. I think I would follow that Ether in a heartbeat.
Please don't make me consider Bow and Green Pendant. I've already seen that like 2 weeks ago. Don't want to see it again so soon.
Frame instead is going to go check these hammerlock checks, hammer peg specifically. He might go into Thieves Town now, but that that doesn't even look. That looks worse than Meyer, honestly. Gem finds a shovel on Ether Tablet.
Do you want to do an isolated check for an isolated fetch quest?
Yeah,
I
of
don't.
course, he doesn't really have much choice here. He committed so much time just to get the ether tablet. He has to find out if it leads to something. It definitely won't lead to the hammer, but that doesn't mean it's not progression.
For any bucks. But also got hammer picks here.
Gem's not having a good day in this seed.
Another 20 bucks. Okay, so I'd like to see Bo in Thieves Town. I do not want to see it in Turtle Rock because Bo is always in Turtle Rock. 100% of the time.
I think
120% of the time.
Thieves Town is where Gem's going. He doesn't want to make that Ice Palace play. Thieves Town's looking better and better. Well, maybe he's going somewhere else. Oh, has he not done Graveyard?
Behind me. What are you doing? You've got yourself dead rocks twice. There we go.
Oh, Gerdo mirrored out after he picked up the hammer. Oh my gosh! I guess I can only assume like he was just so ready for it to be nothing. Wasn't expecting it to actually be the hammer.
I wasn't expecting him to mirror either. Okay, so he's got a triple dive of Ice Palace. Ultimate inefficiency.
At least he won't go back in a fourth time. For the right side. Alright, Gem was checking Graveyard Ledge. Okay. Now what, Gem? Are you ready for Ice Palace? So Goomba is immediately following that Ether Medallion, like I would have done personally. Faraim instead is opting to take his hammer to East Death Mountain, which is way, way more checks. But East Death Mountain still leaves the possibility of more orphan locations. We don't have the Hookshot for Hookshot Cave, and we don't have the Ice Rod for Trinex.
Vanilla medallions today. So yeah, there's East Death Mountain, there's quite a few items here. Most of them are going to be out of reach in Hookshot Cave, but you can also dive into Turtle Rock and clear almost all of Turtle Rock except Trinex, who probably has a bow, because it's Trinex.
Probably. If Rain doesn't get something here on East Death Mountain, like, he's probably doing Turtle Rock. Which can be good or bad, depending on what's in there. Watch it be like Hookshot and Swamp or something.
Gerdo. You've just taken a death to Stalfos, and now you're going to have to go down Ice Pass a fourth time?
Oh no.
Oh no, he's just giving up. He's had enough of this.
No, that's not good though, because Coldstar has progression anyway.
Yeah. This is so unfortunate. There's a Brother Sword in Mizumaya.
Oh, he's leaving to go buy bombs. Oh, I guess he just forgot about the Pond of Happiness.
Oh yeah, he's totally done with Ice Palace now. He's not going to be going back there for a while. Now from here he can get into Turtle Rock because that's great, but he won't be able to get into Maya. So far as any turns up. Yeah. 10 bombs and Butter Sword, and Goomba does not want to check out that green pendant. He is out.
And there is the Hookshot in Paradox Cave. So for Rain's play to the mountain was the right one for now.
So if Hookshot here, I think I would honestly leave Death Mountain and just go do Swamp.
Yeah, you find something in these chests, you definitely don't want to go into Turtle Rock anymore. And this means that the only thing Frame needs to finish this game is a bow. And for V31, we now have progressive bows, which means there's actually 2 bows that you could find, which greatly increases the chances of just finding one on the way, right?
So why are they always on Trinex and Ganon's Tower still? I mean, it's supposed to reduce the amount of bow modes, but I've still anecdotally seen a lot of bow modes lately. Oh, we get to see the whole Folkshop cave now, too, not just one chest.
I mean, it's still only 2 bows. I mean, there's 4 swords, and yet I still find myself in Master Sword Go mode way too often.
And nothing but hard containers and cash in there. And I guess there's nothing on floating islands. It looked like bombs on Goomba's side.
So Frame's actually going into TR here. Swamp just didn't look good enough.
Gutsy. I mean, but maybe he's just as pessimistic about the bow as I am.
I mean, like TR is nearly as many items as Swamp is, and if you don't do TR right now in this position, like you don't go back for quite a long time. You go full clear everything else, including going into Eastern Pod. So it's a gamble to be sure, but it's just not any more than leaving would be.
Now, even if like Gerda's missed adventures in Ice Palace and he's still got to go through a 5th time, he's still up on the mountain for a gem. That pod Eastern dip has cost Gem so much time, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's too late now though, right? Like,
oh well,
if you
wanted to full clear Turtle Rock, there's the Ice World.
Fun.
I hate Ice World in Turtle Rock too, but at least it's a pendant, so like if you're dipping it for items, you can at least commit to the whole thing. Gem grabs a map. Still got to go down the cold stair.
Yeah, thankfully for Gerdo, the Ether Medallion on Cold Stair probably not impactful in this scene. I say probably not because we still don't know what's on Green Pendant.
I mean, if it's going to be at the back, there's potential places it could be, like Green Pendant, Turtle Rock, or back of Beefstown. Just imagine if it was the back of Beefstown all this time.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think like that's best case scenario for Gem at this point, because like.
Goomba's making his way through Herkshot Cave. I'm probably going to go into Turtle Rock as well.
Oh no, he's going Spike Cave.
Oh yeah, true. There's access to Spike Cave. And Goomba's not going into Turtle Rock, but also not going into Spike Cave. He's going for like the straight to swamp play.
You can see how like their different routing decisions changes the way the seed looks for them. Like Goomba did the Mire dip, he got nothing for it. You know, you feel a little behind after something like that. Gerdo, his unfortunate mistakes in Ice Palace leading to him like orphaning colds there at this point. You feel really behind after something like that. And when you're behind, you either make more gambles to make up for it, or you just hope that this is the nicest seed ever and just go straight to Crystal Dungeons. Where from Farane's point of view, like his seed's gone like relatively well so far. So when he got to the hook shot, he probably didn't feel all that behind.
And Gadda's going straight for Swamp too. A lot of items in there. And so far Fiomi's only turned up half magic. I was in Mimic Cave.
Yeah, statistically, if there's something in Turtle Rock, it's on Laser Bridge. So we'll see.
Smoky.
OMG. We found the bow, everybody. Farame is in go mode.
Also Bugnet.
Yeah, all the unique items. Now, this does not spell doom for Goomba and Gerdo, because there are 2 progressive bows in the seed, and the other one might just be in Swamp Palace.
Laser Bridge, how I hate thee. I will never ever forgive Laser Bridge for that one time when I first started doing comms where I had both Fire Rod and Ice Rod on there. It was the previous fall tournament. It was a race between Clay Power and Bruce Fan JP, and it had both rods. I will never forgive that.
Wow, that's very rare. That's pretty awesome, though.
Clay remembers it.
Hookshot was in Paradox Cave.
Goomba grabs a big key, not getting baited by the stairs. It's always amusing to see somebody go up the stairs and then get sent back down by that weird glitch.
Yeah, he would be able to avoid it with the boots, but I think he's just planning to combine it with left side if he chooses to do that.
Yeah. Like, if you haven't gone to left side already, then and you grabbed a big key in the basement, then always go back to check big chest and left side. If you so choose. Could just leave it behind.
So this will be a very different Swamp Palace for Farame. He's going to be able to go mode it, skip absolutely everything, and go straight to Argus. Nice quick kill there from Goomba. And Argus drops a not the bow.
Gem, despite being so far behind, is in the right sort of area to get into Shadow Rock and grab that bow. So he may actually catch up a lot of time here to Goomba and Gerdo.
Yeah, so if Gem does go into Turtle Rock and gets the bow, I would say he's probably ahead, because Goomba and Gerdo, when are they going back to Turtle Rock, right? Like, you already decided not to do it. To go back there is like a 90-second climb up the mountain just to find out if it ends up having anything. It's a very unappealing place to go.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely be going like Pod, Eastern, everything else before going back to Shadow Rock, most likely.
Unfortunately,
Shadow Rock is still a lot of items. So.
Gem did not go into Turtle Rock.
Oh, burned. Okay. So like Turtle Rock is a lot of items, so I could still see people going over there over, say, back of Thieves Town, and maybe even Maya, because Maya's just 2+1 items, but it's so much slower to get to Turtle Rock than Maya, so difficult to say what they will choose to do.
Yeah, Gem's skipping out on Turtle Rock for the exact same reasons that Goomba and Gerdo did. You feel if you feel like behind enough, you don't want to make large gambles like that, because going into Turtle Rock it's either you win the race or you lose 5 minutes, right?
And you can't even bin this dungeon in case there's an item on Trinex because you don't have the Ice Rod. The Ice Rod does pop up in the beginning, but the bow pops up at the end before Trinex anyway. So one left side swamp coming right up on Goomba's side.
Yeah.
Is there going to be another bow here?
Gerdo does choose to skip this and is heading back to Ice Palace. This is his 4th dive into Ice Palace. The first one from a mistake with the keys. The second one he accidentally mirrored. The third one he died to a Stalfos Knight. This has been a very bad day for Gerdo in Ice Palace. Goomba does not find his bow, I don't think. So he takes a shuffle here just because it's like right there. But what do you do next, Goomba? Back to Turtle Rock? Go get the green pendant? Thieves Town? Eastern Pod? TR,
Back to Turtle Rock.
Wow, I would have expected him to wait a lot longer before coming back here.
It's a correct gamble to make, but surprising one.
Now he's still going to be quite a ways behind Faraim. He has an extra climb up the mountain and he full cleared Swamp Palace that Faraim got to go mode. So the chances of Goomba catching up is going to be pretty much nil, unless Faraim just forgets how to do Moldorm 2 or something. But this does put Goomba in a very good spot against Gerdo and Gem.
Oh yeah, it was both a big key and a small key in the dark basement, so Vermi just has to go to the right side now. And get into what is colloquially known as Turtle Town. Alright, Ganon makes it to Gold State, and they have tons of health this time.
So you guys might have remembered at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about how amazing all of these runners are, and if you're not super familiar with Rando, you might think I was wrong, but this seed is super duper trolly, and it really just goes to show how difficult of a game Link to the Past is in general, and then in addition to how much RNG goes into where these items are placed and figuring out where they are and where they could be, that it takes these runners, these amazing runners, this long to find their go mode progression items.
I mean, like, you can argue that Link to the Past has quite a lot of technical skill. For example, I myself am totally terrible at bomb jumps, and so that's why Ice Palace always makes me nauseous. But there's a lot of other stuff in Link to the Past, like in Randomizer, like routing. Routing has made such a difference in the seed. I guess there's a luck factor too, but just like efficient routing and getting the right items on the way can make so much difference. The reason why we're seeing Gem like so far behind is that they went to Pod and Eastern, and nobody else did that. Now he could be doing something like after getting his 2 items in Maya, going to Vitreous, finishing him off and handing that green pendant. You might get a bow from it. We don't know where that other bow is, but it's a huge time expenditure that you didn't really need.
If it is bow and green pendant, that would have been faster than the laser bridge one, I think. Even just like execution wise, like we look at Gerdo and like he died in Ice Palace or whatever, and it's like, oh man, Gerdo, you made such a big mistake, But Gerdo's he's number 15, I think, on the NMG leaderboard. That means there are 14 people in the world who can say, yeah, I'm better at Link to the Past than Gerdo. In the world, 14 people. And, he dies in Ice Palace. That just tells me Link to the Past is a hard game. And to just add on top of that all of the routing options and trying to figure out what's going on and where are the things, it really makes this game a lot of fun to play and a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, there's a ton of depth to Randomizer, and you'll never get to randomizer seeds that are exactly the same. You may get some that are similar, but there's still so many different decisions you can make, so many intricacies and ways you can approach it. And hey, Goomba, stop hovering, please. So many ways you can approach it. That you always get a different experience, and you always find ways so you can see, yeah, I could have improved myself by doing this and this, or I could have just done this check, gone more efficient. Hey, there's my item, or things like that. It looks like Gem is committing to the full Mizumaya clear, so this takes quite a bit of time, especially if you want to check out that cutscene chest. He's also probably going to check out Vitreous, hands in that green pendant.
Oh, he got the second item. He says no to
the
green pendant.
He's out. It's just funny because I saw Goomba got both items much quicker there.
Yeah, I probably just routed it differently. Got them in a different order.
And he's camping on the Turtle Rock too. Okay.
So this whole seed, we never saw the Back of Thieves, and we never saw Green Pendant. Everything else, though.
So, Fuyomi has all their crystals now. Gets another 300 rupees. I think that's all 4 300 rupee drops that we've seen. But he's not going to be heading up Ganon's tower, so don't make any guesses. You can guess how many teleports Ganon would do, though.
Oh, right, it's fast Ganon. Hopefully Fareem remembers. Yeah, okay, he's saving and quitting in the Dark World.
I've seen so many excellent runners forget it's fast Ganon. It is a relatively new game mode. Right, so no Butter Sword from Maya, but especially with that cape, it's going to be pretty easy to get Ganon one-cycled in Phase 2. He's also flashing a curious shade of red. I've not seen that before.
Probably just has to do with Fareem's video settings.
Okay, Fuyomi does face tanks and bats, but he's got a red person just to top his health up, so that's no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, that's exactly the situation we were talking about earlier with those early mail upgrades. How even runners of this caliber, they don't mind picking up blue mail, red mail, because it lets you use your health as a resource. Like, Fareem really didn't even need to drink the potion. He's just doing it for safety.
And even if the bow was somewhere else, the Teleport play is still pretty good because you get your half magic and mimic cape, and that just helps a lot for the Ganon spin phase. Well,
Ganon,
half a minute. Sorry.
Ganon's being a little trolly with his warps. He's making it harder to do triples than it needs to be.
Yeah, without help magic, you kind of have to be forced to use the lamp to light the torches, or at least have a green person with you. So it takes a little bit extra time. And with a lamp, you often only have a time for, say, like one spin on Ganon, so it becomes way less efficient. But Fiora gets him down. Bacon generated, and we will get his finish time in just a second. Alright, Fiore has finished in first place on Restream, and first place overall with a time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 4 seconds. GG.
GG. And we did have a smaller race today than we normally see on the dailies. I assume everyone's out playing Pokemon, but like first place in a race where Goomba, Gem, and Gerdo are the other runners. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's either got to be like. It's either going to be like practice warm-up race for the qualifiers later, just saving yourself for the qualifiers later, or yeah, playing Pokemon. Hey, someone get me a Switch so I can go play Pokemon. Thanks. Professor Rendra, we are not going to be getting a Fiorami interview most likely because they didn't win the league. If you remember from the league, their team name was Fiorami will do an interview if we win. They didn't win, so no interviews. Not until next year. Maybe. Maybe.
That's okay. I didn't really have any questions for him. He just went to the right places and got the things. Oh yeah, he was one of our runners who got the late flute. That was pretty dance game. Thankfully, he did remember to go get that. Although I guess you didn't need the flute this seed, did you? Like there wasn't anything behind the flute because we had the book from Village.
So where were gloves again? There was one glove in
Hera and the pyramid.
So no, you did need the flute because you had to get the flute to get up to onto the mountain to get that glove.
No, but the glove on the pyramid gave you access to the mountain.
Oh yeah, true, that too. Yeah, Fiorami just lifted up the rock and went into the mountain that way without fluting. Okay.
Yeah, we saw at least one runner did Hera before finding the flute.
Flute's still a lot of mobility though, and considering it's on sync in four places,
it's definitely worth picking up. But I was just meaning, like, if he had like completely forgotten that Sick Kid existed, like he still would have been able to finish the scene. And Gem picks up his bow, being our fourth runner here in go mode. He's got some time to catch up though. Goomba and Gerdo going through pod at the moment. Oh, I guess Gem doesn't have to search for the big key in a pod.
He's pretty much full cleared the entire place.
Yeah, he should be able to just go straight to Helmasaur.
That's Goomba just now. It's only
he might actually. Is he going to take the lead? No, Goompa's on the way to Helmasaur. Okay.
Yeah,
he might overtake Gerdo, though.
Yeah. And even after that, he's got to head over into Eastern. Well, Goomba's got to go Eastern as well. So
I don't remember exactly where the big key in Eastern was.
It wasn't in the vanilla chest, so you don't have to go through like the dark rooms to get it.
Okay, so he won't be able to save that much time over everybody else, but
yeah,
you know, like the first and the second chest are a little out of the way, so he'll be able to save that time at least. Wow, Gem is just barely ahead of Gerdo here. After everything that happened, to still have a chance to not be last place on the restream, it's fantastic.
It's a full pod and Eastern dip without the bow versus 4 dips down Ice Palace.
Yeah, double dips hurt. And Gem also went to Meyer. which Gerdo managed to avoid, although Goomba did not.
Ice Palace is a nasty, nasty dungeon. Like, I think just having to go down it even twice would be, like, bad enough, but 4 times? Ouch.
Yeah, his first...
That's why, like, Gem's done so much stuff, and he's still just a little bit ahead of Gerda.
Yeah, his first issue in Ice Palace where he went to the right side, that was pure muscle memory. Like, you typically have the hammer when you go to Ice Palace, so you don't think that hard about how not having hammer might destroy your route if you do that.
This is why Ice Palace is the worst dungeon. I don't care what you think.
I've done it myself quite a few times where I go to the right side without the hammer, without thinking.
Alright, Gem gets to Helmasaur just barely ahead of Gerdo. Not much in terms of execution to talk about with Helmasaur. You might miss an arrow or two when you're attacking the head beneath the mask, but after that it's just mostly walking into him with a hammer.
Yeah, I've had people ask me quite a few times how come sometimes I hold the sword out during phase 1 and sometimes I don't. The answer to that is holding the sword out is slower but safer. So if I'm in a health armor place where I think Helmasaur might be able to kill me, I typically hold the sword out for safety. But in this situation where everybody has like 17 million hearts and red mail with a butter sword or whatever, like you go for the faster strat here.
Slight difference for 2 butter sword hits to finish off Helmasaur versus 4 tempered sword hits. So just little differences like that.
So Gem's still with a little lead.
So funny how close Gem and Gerdo are, considering all that's happened.
Yeah, and Gem's going to gain a little bit of time here over Gerdo, because Gerdo's going to have to like walk around to get to the first chest and go to the right side to get the second chest, where Gem's already done all that. He can just go straight to the back.
Eyes on Goomba though, he's going to be heading over to Ganon.
Oh, Gerdo almost skips the right chest. Alright, Goomba also remembers to save and quit in the Dark World. Ooh, get a nice trip to the Ganon hole.
Now Goomba at one point there dashed straight through Ganon and still got a hit in. What actually caused that? Because I've seen that sometimes and I'm not sure if it's just like a pixel difference. So like he ran through Ganon from the right side to the left of Ganon, straight through Ganon without bouncing off him, but Ganon still took damage from the sword dash.
Yeah, you can dash through Ganon. I guess I'm not sure what you're referring to exactly.
Okay, just didn't look like he changed his vertical positioning, so...
He was doing like little dashes in phase 2 there. That's typically what you do for 1-on-1. It's not really necessary with the butter sword. But if you like cancel your dash, you don't rebound off of Ganon. So it allows you to stay inside the circle of bats and stay close to him and get the hits in faster. Gem also remembering to save and quit in the Dark World, starting his Ganon fight. And Gerdo beginning his Armos fight, his last Crystal Dungeon. Goomba getting in some nice triples.
Down goes Ganon. GG's for Goomba, assuming he makes it across that bridge.
I believe. GG!
Apparently that still happens. I've not seen it in over a year, but it still happens.
And
Don't cross your bridge too early.
Goomba takes second place on the restream, second place overall behind Frame with a time of 1:28.32. So this really exemplifies like how great Frame's route through the seed was. That he had a 9-minute lead over Goomba, who still managed to get second place.
It kind of came down to those left side swarm plays a bit too. Because if Fujiyami just went there in go mode and everybody else didn't go there in go mode.
Yeah, very big difference between go mode and full clear swamp. And Goomba joining us in the voice chat. How you doing, Goomba? GG?
Hey, GG.
I'm disappointed though, Goomba, because I said before the race that I thought you were gonna win by making like some weird gamble that only made sense to you, and you made the weird gamble that nobody else did, but it just wasn't the right one with the Meyer play.
I don't know. What else was I supposed to do with Ether? Can't just not go to Meyer with that.
No, I'm with you. I would have gone straight to Meyer. I probably would have killed Vitreous though.
I honestly, if the hook shot or the bow wasn't on Death Mount, I was just going back for Vitreous afterward.
Right. Gem also takes down Ganon. And he finishes third overall with a time of 1:29.53. Third on the restream, third overall. We got the best runners here today. The full podium.
Yeah, I would have actually killed Vitreous if the big key wasn't vanilla, but I really didn't feel like doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The hammer was dumb.
Gem also did the Meyer play, but he did a lot later than you did. But only you two went to Meyer. The only things, like between the four of you, we never saw the back of Thieves Town. We never saw Green Pendant. I think we saw absolutely everything else. And Gerdo takes down Ganon, finishing fourth in the restream. And as soon as I refresh, fourth overall with a time of 1:30.42. All four of our top runners from the race on the restream today.
I'm gonna be honest with you. My execution was hot garbage. I haven't played in a couple days, and I'm still kind of sick, so I'm like super rusty. So I just played a bit more aggressively than I normally would have.
Did you feel intimidated by the lineup today?
I mean, a little bit, mostly because of the aforementioned rust. But I probably wouldn't have gone into Ice Palace quite that early if I didn't feel like I was playing like garbage.
Everyone put off Ice Palace for quite a long time. You definitely had the best route through like the mid game with the water walk to the fire rod, and then putting off Village of Outcasts and Hype Cave for longer than everybody else.
Yeah, I felt good about my mid game early game route.
It wasn't leading to the hammer. That was the only.
The early game felt really good with my water walk clown shenanigans and getting the bottle and then the flute and sick kid. I felt pretty good.
Yeah, the early game was really awkward. Like it was obviously an Aga seed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was about ready to go to Aga at like the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, well, you and Gerdo both managed to do Sick Kid before making that decision. So you get the flute. It's like, oh, wait, Tower of Hera, that looks way better. And you get a glove. It's like, oh, and then you do Aga anyway. Where everybody else, they orphan Sick Kid. Like, it was all by its lonesome sitting in Kakariko. So they say, yeah, screw it, we'll just do Aga. And they find a glove, and they feel really good about it.
Right.
You just had to do both.
Yep. But that felt good, because I imagine everyone else probably went into pot then, after getting the Pyramid Glove.
Only Gem.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, no, Gem was like behind the whole race because he did pot and Eastern without the bow and got nothing to show for it. And we welcome Gerdo to the voice chat as well. Welcome. And Gem following right behind. Welcome, guys. GG.
GG's.
GG.
Pretty gross seed overall, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the hammer was like the items were kind of leading to Ice Palace overall. I felt like.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too surprised about that. It was just kind of the bow hunt at the end, and my absolute clown fiesta in Ice Palace.
Yeah,
It was a pretty forced clown fiesta in Ice Palace, to be fair.
Gerdo made it worse than it had to be, though.
I did the beginning of Ice Palace 4 times.
How'd you do that?
So what happened was, Gerdo, after he checks the Freezor chest, he bomb jumped over like he was going to go to Ice Tea, and then I assume you just thought you had a key, but then found out,
Yeah.
oh wait, I don't have a key, and you were forced to go to the right side, which didn't have a key, so you were forced to mirror out and go back in for Ice Tea, which then has the big key, and then you go to check the big chest, and you already had the mirror equipped, you were ready for it to be nothing, and whoops, it was the hammer, but you mirrored out anyway.
No, the thing is, my brain wanted to mirror block erase those blocks.
Oh no!
That is what happened there after the hammer. Like, I don't even know how that happens, but it did. So.
And then the third one, you took a death to a Stalfos Knight, which I
No,
assume...
the problem is I ran out of bombs. That was the whole problem. I
Oh.
couldn't even advance from there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was something.
Thankfully, the Ether Medallion ended up not mattering on Cold Stare, because you did put off Ice Palace for a long time after that. Just wanted to go do something else not named Ice Palace.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have beat Furime, even with that. Maybe, I definitely would have beaten Gem, maybe Goomba. But Furime, I don't know what he did, man, but he finally managed to take off his clown costume.
So,
We're proud of him.
so we were talking about like in the mid game, Goomba's route was like so good and everything, but it just kept not leading to progression. So no matter what route you took through the game, you ended up in this really terrible position where it's like, well, I can go do this terrible thing, or this terrible thing, or this other terrible thing, and you all ended up getting the hammer pretty close to each other. But Fareem was the only one to dive Turtle Rock right away, and that's how he got the 119.
Yeah, I guess
I mean,
we are pretty close at that point, right? Like
Yeah,
Furime and me, and I don't know, maybe Goomba as well.
yeah, everybody was pretty close around the hammer, with UGem being lagging behind because of the Eastern and pod dips. But then Gerdo's mistakes through Ice Palace ended up catching you up pretty good.
yeah,
Wow, did these guys really not do Pod and Eastern before IP?
Yeah, they did not. Nobody
the
did.
clowns.
I had all the stuff for Ice Palace. Obviously, I'm going to Ice Palace.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah, I was feeling as well. Also, I knew that you and Furime maybe probably did Aga before getting the flute. Especially Furime, because he always tells me, if you find the cape, just go to Aga. So I figured he didn't get the gloves from Hera or wherever it was.
I was
Yeah,
about ready
probably
to
didn't
go
pod
back at
any.
like 8 minutes. But
yeah, I just did character and self-show, and then I went to Aga.
Yeah, I
I
figured.
clown modded the early game pretty good. But I did get the flute early because of it, I guess.
I was
Yeah,
just kind of
I
annoyed with myself. I got the glove from Pyramid, and then I was so fixated on just going to Pod after it that I just completely forgot that I could go to Hera at that point.
I mean, even with hair
That's
available,
cool.
like Pod still looks like really good in that situation, right? Because like even if it's bow locked, you have the bottle and the potion and everything, and
Yeah,
you
but-
don't have the hammer or the hook shot, so it's just Tower of Hera. It's not like the whole mountain or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
you
you
can
can't
just do
finish pod.
pod, and then just, if pod's nothing, or you can do Hera, and then if Hera's nothing, you just save and quit back to the pyramid and go to pod after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still
exactly.
a pretty
Time lost.
significant gamble.
I don't know. I feel like I got the hammer about as early as reasonably possible, but then I did a bunch of clown garbage instead of, getting the
Yeah, I
items
think
that
You'd have to
mattered.
be pretty darn gambly to have gone to Ice Palace earlier than you guys did.
Like, I went to Misery Mire immediately after Ice Palace, and then I did Left Side Swamp for some reason. I don't know why I did that. I did a lot of dumb shit that I really didn't need to do. But whatever. I got the hammer.
Yeah, we were talking about like when everybody got the hook shot out of Paradox Cave, and you're in this choice where I can go to Swamp which is a crystal that I can full clear, or I can dive Turtle Rock, which I'm not going to want to go back to if I don't do it right now. Frame was the only one to make that play to go into Turtle Rock. And I think a big part of that was he was the only one not to have like really unfortunate dungeon dives up to that point. Like Gerdo probably fell behind because of Ice Palace. Goomba probably fell behind because of Meyer. Gem probably fell behind because of Eastern Pond. But Frame was the only one who was like, well, I mean, I got time to spare. So he went into Turtle Rock and got super rewarded for it.
I would have made the Turtle Rock dive if I was missing more than one item. But since it was just one item left, I figured I should just do Swamp Palace first.
Yeah, same.
I was kind of... I forgot about the shovel I had. And when Furame done so early, I was like... I was just entering Turtle Rock, I think, and I was like, oh god, it's at this shovel, isn't it? Which I completely forgot. But luckily... I wonder where the other bow was, because Ganon said that the silvers went Turtle Rock. So the other bow had to be somewhere earlier as well, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it couldn't be GT then, huh?
I think he just picks a random bow, doesn't he?
Oh, it does he?
Yeah,
I don't
he
even
just
know.
picks a random
Oh, is it a
bow.
random bow?
Okay, never mind.
I thought they just picked like the first place bow or something.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
All I
That's
know
what
is
I thought
They,
as well,
they
but I
need to
don't know.
fix it anyway. Like he's
Yeah.
not operating properly.
Yeah.
But there really wasn't that much game left for the bow to be other than GT. Nobody did Back of Thieves and nobody did Green Pendant, but we saw absolutely everything else.
Pyramid Fairy as well.
Oh, right, you're sure. That's very true.
Yeah, it was probably just in GT, as usual.
Still, like, this was a definitely an atypical seed. Like, most rando seeds can be pretty gross, but this one was over the line, I would say.
I know, it feels pretty normal. Like my last,
That's it.
out of my last 10 seats, 3 of them had hammer and ice.
Oh no.
So
I play entrance, I'm used to hammer and ice palace, happens like every other seed. That was
Well,
really the only bad part.
Well, the bow and TR is pretty bad too.
I mean, that's just
I mean, at that point in the game, it's pretty bad.
that's just par for the course.
yeah, it just feels really normal.
I was really disappointed nobody did Back of Thieves. Like, I thought for sure Goomba would do it because, like, you got to Thieves Town way later than everybody else, so you had much less of the game open at that point. But you still weren't willing to make that play.
Nah, honestly, at that point, I was already planning on going to Ice Palace if the whole Southern Dark World was nothing. I would have gone to Pendant Thieves next if the hammer wasn't in Ice Palace, though. Because, like, at that point, I going to Pod and Eastern at that point is just admitting defeat, right?
Yeah, you put it off for so long, and it's been available for so long. It's like, surely somebody did it, like Gem.
Yeah, exactly.
So if that's the answer, like, you've already lost the game. But I think I'm out of questions for you guys. I thought you guys put on a heck of a race. Mistakes and routing errors and can't find the hammer and the bow. Besides, like, like everything went super well. It was just a gross seed.
This was fun because we had boots from the start. Can't be a bad seat with early boots.
Yeah, that kind of changes like the whole seed, like how you feel about it. Like as gross it is, like you don't feel like it's a very slow seed because you have the boots right away.
Yeah, boots opener or boot start also lets me do my clown opener, so that's cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Did you do the egg gambit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one I thought about, dude. I forgot.
Yep, and then South Shore, so I had the bottle before going to CAC. It was a nice clown route. But it worked out, I guess.
I think that's the god route, honestly. That's probably the best route there is if you have boots there.
Yeah, I really think Goomba's route through the early and mid game was the best one that you could really hope for. just had to make that turtle rock dive a little sooner to beat Frame.
I mean, it's a good thing my route was good because my execution wasn't.
I don't know what you're talking about. You did fine, dude.
I don't know, man. I haven't played in like how long? A couple days, 3, 4, 5.
I guess
17,
when you're
who
as good
knows?
as you guys, like a single bonk feels like you lost 5 minutes. But if you're like me, then you kind of accept that you're gonna bonk 30 times. It'll be all right.
I felt pretty garbage about my execution. I nudged like every door in the universe. That's great.
Do you guys have any final words before we shut it down?
Not really.
I got nothing to say either.
Me neither.
Darn you, Frame.
Yeah, I told him to come to the interview, but he just doesn't want to, man. What can you do?
Gotta wait for season 2 of the league for that.
Yeah.
Maybe Hitzion won't deny us this time.
I mean, he doesn't even have a team. He won't deny you. He's gotta settle for some second-tier German player, I think. That's what I've heard last time he talked to me.
Yeah, when he asked you.
Yeah.
Good thing there's so many German players to choose from.
Well, just thank you guys so much for Rain, Goomba, Gem, and Gerdo for putting on a fantastic race for us today. Really appreciate that. I know it was a smaller race today, but you guys did a great job. And much thanks to our trackers today, which were Nitro and Orange. We can use the commands. Nope. SGBot is broken. Rip.
Rip.
And thank you so much, Revolving Ocelot, for co-commenting with me. Really appreciate it.
And thank you too. Also for like single-handedly handling an interview. I'm rubbish at them.
No,
Yeah,
Scott, I
please
think
do-
you were like dealing with your cat or something.
Wait for a second. But yeah, please do follow our runners. You've got their names on the stream, so you can just look them up. Search for them on Twitch. You'll find those channels. Explanation C isn't working either. But yeah, do check out our trackers too. Orange, the Yordle, and Nitro, who have been tracking for us today, keeping us on track. Checking out that Maya medallion, because I keep missing it. And yeah, I got nothing else to add, so good race, trolly race, but very good race, and so close at the end.
Yes, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.